Hi, I'm Twyla, and today I thought I would share with you a memory that has had a massive imprint on my heart. Growing up, I remember coming back home from school and finding that my father has brought in complete strangers, but like a family he found on the streets. Either they were homeless or looking for livelihood, and they've been on the road for a while. They're in need of a place to stay, they're in need of food, clothing, warm place, and a shelter. And he would extend this invitation to them, irrespective of who they were, their background, not knowing anything about them, but just seeing them in that desperate situation and just asking them to come over. And sometimes they would stay with us for a few days, sometimes for a few weeks, sometimes for a few months, and kind of become part of our daily routine. My mom and dad both would ensure that they are safe and secure, and would cook them warm meals, take care of their kids if they had children, and help them in whatever way they could. And I must have been 7 or 8. I saw that my dad didn't find them dangerous. He didn't find the scent, the smell, the anything about them that he felt like taking 2 steps back. He always wanted to go out of the way and extend this hospitality, extend this massive grace and time and effort uh, to strangers. And as I grew up, I realized that there was a backstory to my dad. And when he was about 18, 19, he was into drugs and alcohol. He was a chain smoker. He couldn't find his life purpose. He didn't find his life meaningful. He did not get the answers of what is he on earth for. He did not find his purpose, and nothing was making sense to him. And he was contemplating suicide. And while he was planning how he would end his life, someone told him about Jesus. And somebody told him that there is a God who loves you just as you are. And in that mess, emotionally and physically and psychologically, what gripped his heart was that he was loved just the way he is. There were no conditions. He was unconditionally loved by God. And that transformed his life, and he pursued getting to know more of who Jesus is, who God is, and what is his purpose. And through that lens, his life transformed. And then he went on to go into social work and become a missionary. He also got married, and then I'm talking about the story of him inviting strangers home when he was in his late 40s, when I was born, and when I turned 6 or 7. So yeah, he continued that life, and one thing led to another, and that constantly transformed him, and he chose to follow Christ in his everyday life. And he felt redeemed, and he felt loved, and he wanted to offer the same love and redemption and hope to those on the streets. I also feel that he was wandering, and he had the same vacant eyes that he found in people on the streets who were homeless. He found that same similarity of people wanting hope, and I think that connected him to people, and that helped him pay attention, because he felt that God paid attention to him, to every detail of his life, and brought him out of the darkest point in his life. And I think that also inspired him to do what he did with his life, and to constantly have people who he didn't know come home and serve them wholeheartedly. As I reflect on my parents' life, I realized that they were imitating Christ, who loved them first, who gave his life for them, and he came in flesh and blood. And so community became the center of their lives, and loving people became a way of life, and they wholeheartedly believed that whoever came in their path, in their journey of life, was placed by God. And so they did everything in their capacity to bless those who came their way. And so it was translated into them teaching for free. It was translated into them taking tuitions for free. It was translated into the cooking that they did. It was translated into the people who stayed at our house. It was translated into so many different things about listening, of grieving, of being genuinely there for one another, for the connections that they made, for the sacrifices that they made. And they knew that God sacrificed for them and gave up his life so that they can have new life, and that he is with them every step of the way. And so continue healing and continue blessing those on your path, and continue looking with eyes of compassion. Not meant for isolation. We were meant for connection. So continue hoping, continue believing, blessing, and being there for one another. Continue loving and stay connected, and God will give you the grace that's needed to do everything, and every little thing that you do, remember that when you do it, it is sacred, it is holy, it is powerful, it is beautiful, and it can change the world.